Hello everybody, what's good? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is me, Star Carrington, also known as Black Feminist Vegan. And today I'm here, probably with some glare on my glasses, to share a personal anecdote of my vegan journey, a huge turning point on my vegan journey. And it has to do with my childhood and the foods that I grew used to eating and that I grew to associate positive memories with and shit like that. One thing I know for sure is that chicken salad, like chicken salad from the can, mixed with like mayonnaise and onion and celery. Chicken salad that used to come in the can mixed with onions and celery. That was one of the first meals that I remember making. And it was definitely the first meal that I remember my whole family. There was a time that I think it was for my sister's baby shower. I was 12 and my family members were at my house and I was responsible for making lunch. So I went in there and I made the chicken salad the way that my mom taught me, her secret recipe and things that she had learned from my grandma. And it was a really simple like lunchtime meal. But I remember putting it on the plates for them and cutting it diagonally and stuff like that and serving it to them. And they were like, this is really good, Star, really hyping me up. And they loved it. And I remember feeling like, yes, like this is something that I really know how to make. But also it just felt good being able to create something for my family at a young age. And so I always grew to associate positive memories with that particular food. Like it was something that I loved having for lunch, something that I felt like I could make really well. And so I was excited to make it and help my mom prepare it. And so now in my journey as a vegan, I realized that a lot of foods that I had positive associations with, the foods that I preferred having for lunch or for dinner, because same is true with mac and cheese. My mom taught me my grandmother's mac and cheese recipe. Actually, my grandma taught me the recipe. And my mom, she helped me craft it when I wasn't with my grandma. But that was a recipe that I've always taken pride in and a meal that I always felt, mac and cheese was my favorite food growing up, first of all. And it was another thing that they were like, ooh, Star, you put your ankle in this joke. This is so good. And I remember just being like, I can cook. But yes, anyway, I found that a lot of those association was with the memory itself, with the feeling in either being able to cook with my mom and grandma or being able to serve my family and have them enjoy it, being able to create it itself. And it really had nothing to do with the chicken. It had nothing to do with the element that contained violence. It had nothing to do with the animal flesh itself. It was the memories around it, the flavors that I was able to infuse the food with, because need we remind ourselves that animal flesh is not tasty on its own. That's why people go to the lengths of cooking it and seasoning it and all of those things. And so chicken salad to this day, or now I make chickpea salad. It's still one of my favorite lunches and I can still make it for my family. I've made it for my mom and she loves it because the consistency is literally the same. I can make it for my family, I can make it for myself and still have that nostalgia, that memory of even eating it. The taste just reminds me of like being a successful child and being like known for my like whipping skills. Anyway, but also same with mac and cheese. I actually remember when I first tried mac and cheese at New Vegan Cafe, my partner at the time took me there and I was vegetarian at the time, but they were like, this is a Black owned vegan restaurant and they knew that I was interested in trying more vegan foods. So we went. And I remember when I tasted the mac and cheese, I said to myself, if this is what vegan mac and cheese tastes like, I can be vegan. And I said that because mac and cheese is like my OG childhood memory food. Like I used to be digging in the pan at the table, no remorse, in the kitchen the whole time it was being prepared. It was something that I loved. And after learning about casein and like addictions to like milk and dairy products, like there's a lot of background on that and I'll link something here where you can read up on that. It makes a lot of sense why I was obsessed with mac and cheese. Cheese has an addictive component. Now I know that. But what I really grew to love was the flavor, the process of making it, the fact that it was only my grandma's recipe, and due to her tips and guidance and stuff, I was able to recreate that. But I'm able to preserve all of these things as I make my vegan foods, because I feel that it's really important in my family. And I think that in Black community, I think it would be an enriching experience to recreate these soul foods based upon vegan materials, vegan items, because the culture around the food, and chicken salad isn't really a soul food. It doesn't have much to do with Black culture in general, but it had a lot to do with my family's foods that they made and foods that I had learned to even make, things that I had in my toolbox carrying forward. But it's also like I want to pass these things on to my children because I do want to have children. And, my sister's children, both of my sisters have, well, one has one kid and the other has 3 kids. I have so many people that I want to pass down these positive memories with. I want to pass down the recipes and things like that. But I want to also pass down this element of agency in choosing what items I would put in the food and choosing to, as much as I can, because as we know, there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, as much as I can, being mindful of whether or not I am endorsing violence, whether or not I'm consuming violence or encouraging the consumption of violence in whatever form. And so that being said, I just wanted to share that quick story because I quickly noticed that a lot of my memories around food were around the community, were around being able to make and create something new or being able to share that moment. And all of those things can be preserved when the food itself is veganized. And I think it's also a really great thing. When I made my vegan mac and cheese, my first Thanksgiving as a vegan, everybody was like, this is suspiciously good. And because, I still, I followed my grandma's recipe and made it completely, I veganized the whole thing. It tasted different, but it was still good as hell. And so I think that's another thing we have to realize is adjusting our palate to those new vegan foods and knowing what products to put to be the actual replica of said foods and so on and so forth. But I really hope that I inspired someone today because that was a turning point in my journey, being able to take the agency of veganizing these foods and preserving the culture and the memories and stuff like that. So if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment on something that you learned or something that inspired you. Also, feel free to leave a suggestion for another video topic if you have one in mind that you feel based upon my content I could facilitate. So yeah. As always, you can find me on Instagram at Black Feminist Vegan, and you can also find the Radiate Gift Shop at Radiate Gifts. And actually right now I'm doing a free giveaway on my Instagram page of Dr. Bronner soap and some of the Radiate Herbal Smoke Blends. It will only be up for about 2 days. So if you see this, make sure to go to my Instagram and follow the instructions to enter in the giveaway. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will leave the link right here for your viewing pleasure. And that's all I have for y'all today. So peace, be easy. See you later.